Hello, Desert Mountain members. Welcome to the third ever episode of the Desert Mountain Podcast. Mike and I are feeling good today. For those of you watching on YouTube, you can't tell if you're just listening, but we got some fresh, clean haircuts going right now. I don't know.
You look good.
You look maybe better.
Okay. Love fest. Okay.
You know, if we're on thin ice now, people aren't too sure about the podcast. Maybe the haircuts might help keep our.
We haven't been canceled.
We haven't been canceled yet.
We're still.
Yeah. Above all else,
might be after this. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and
bring him. Yeah,
you heard him. Let's bring him in real quick. So, as you know, if you've been joining us the first 3 weeks, we will bring a guest on with us every week. And this week, I mean, to add to the list of the already, pretty high profile names that we've had on. We started with Todd Bruin last week, Damon Diorio, and this week we are joined by Gregg Leonard.
How's it feel to be number 3 on that?
I'll take number 3. That's fine.
And just not to. I
would have taken 4th actually.
So Gregg is our director of club operations, and I don't think there's probably anyone on the mountain that doesn't know Gregg. I would assume, right? He shows his face.
It's hard
everywhere.
to miss Gregg. I mean, you touch every clubhouse, right? You're all over the place, and you got this stride about you.
Oh, thank you.
Like this confident, like when he's coming. That guy's important,
yeah, and
got a lot going on in the head. So.
Well, much like Mr. Diorio, you rarely see Gregg not in a jacket, some type
suit.
A very nice suit, and so. Yes, he's hard to miss.
I was used to the tie before here, so I'll take the look now.
I think let's jump in with that then, because we wanted to get kind of just we've known you for a while now, but just kind of get a little bit more background on you. So just tell the people who maybe don't know a little bit about your background, where you came from. I think I've heard
it is Gregg Leonard.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and first and foremost, fabulous work for what you've done with this podcast, but also, everything from the Mountain Jam to, I send it to my family. It's that good. So thank you. Yeah,
that's good to know.
So let me start with that. Got to treat the host right. So yeah, a little bit about myself. So came over to Desert Mountain in June of 2018. Had the opportunity at the Sonoran Clubhouse to be the director of sports and recreation there. Very excited when that opportunity came about. But really, food and beverage and operations as a whole has kind of always been my passion, my background. Loved the challenge that I had at Sonoran. Wonderful team down there, wonderful membership. But now kind of in a completely different area of the club. Very excited for that. I've been in the role officially January 2020.
Okay.
And then kind of oversaw Sonoran and club ops for those first kind of 5 months. So great opportunity for me from onboarding and kind of offboarding of that. Great opportunities.
I guess you could say when you started January 2020, it's just been a breeze for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
No issues have arisen at all in the last 19 months. And
it's that confident.
Confident
stride.
Look,
bring him down.
At the end of the day, and this comes from my leader, but my leadership style is, it's all team effort. I couldn't have done it with teammates below me, and that starts with our stewarding and the dish pits, working long hours, all the way through the hostess greeting our members to my management team, who have been absolutely tremendous throughout this entire the entire
it's definitely a consistent theme from Todd to Damon to Gregg now. Like, this is a great staff
and just a good culture,
great culture,
too. And I think as clubs go, I can't imagine that you could find one where the culture is as good as it is here, or better.
And I think that's really all I've known is culture first, and staff is obviously, our members is of the utmost importance, but our members aren't going to be happy without our staff being happy. And so not only does the leadership team understand that, but our members understand that, and it really has shown, at least for me, over the past 3 years. So very healthy cultural club here, and that's what excites me the most. But jumping kind of background, so originally born and raised on the island of Martha's Vineyard, which I've understood that's kind of a very interesting rarity.
I didn't know that.
It's not. It couldn't be further from the desert.
Exactly. So was born and raised there. Definitely a unique childhood. Big sense of community there. It's all you have. It's a pretty desolate place in the winter season. So sports and education is what you focused on, and that was that.
Well, you said sports.
Yeah, I mean, nothing special there. Yeah, I was in the trenches for football, lineman through, didn't play college, just football, sports, golf, really, because I knew, hey, I want to be in the golf industry.
Yeah.
You better know the game of golf. So took that on an early age. The passion, I love basketball. I'm horrible. But I love it and I support it. So, but yes, definitely I would say the passion is still there with golf. Handicap's getting worse by the day, but I'll pick it up later on in my life. Exactly, the passion remains.
I feel like golf is one of those things where you'd be good to have your kids get into golf no matter what you were going to get into.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, the little one. So I got good segue there. I got a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old at home. The 2-year-old already has the plastic golf clubs and swinging around, whacking some furniture, making
shot any viral videos of
nothing
swinging the club and
he's got a far better putting stroke than his father. So we'll put it like that. But yeah, when I left the Vineyard after high school, I went down to North Carolina and attended the University of North Carolina at Charlotte there. Loved the hospitality industry, but knew that for me, I wanted to really go the business route, understanding that, I need to understand financials and big business. And so graduated with a management and economics degree and
excellent.
Just, still found myself after college. I worked for a developer who kind of built golf courses, which was a great kind of business side of the hospitality industry to see that, but just wasn't the right thing for me, and moved back to North Carolina and rekindled things and connected with my now wife, and really just cold called through a reference that I had, Mr. DiOrio, and really just said, hey, I'm going to email this guy, and it was through one of my old head professionals, golf professionals, and so I reached out to him, and it was that was back in 14.
Wow.
And it was, hey, yeah, come in for an interview. And showed up for the interview and interviewed, with the assistant manager at Charlotte Country Club at the time. And I remember she said to me, she's like, hey, you have a great resume, you have everything. She goes, let us put you through kind of
great stride. We just had to get you.
She was like, so I kind of went through several years, what I like to look at and what I love reflecting on, kind of a boot camp of just, hey, you're going to learn everything in a very fast-paced environment. I had some great opportunities at Augusta National, working for the Masters tournament.
Wow.
As part of the leadership team there at Berkman's Place.
Pretty cool.
So that was very exciting. You take a team of 60 to 80 college students, majority, who are there to work, but really there to socialize and have fun as well. And you say, hey, I have 3 days to train you before you go live for 7 days in front of, the patrons.
Right.
So great experience. I look at my leadership team here on the mountain, being able to take part in things like that. I would love and have built those connections to be able to send them to a golf tournament, because you really get to learn, network, but really get to experience, true management in a fast-paced environment.
Yeah.
So looking forward to kind of the next couple of years getting the team out and seeing that. I've kind of pulled back my invite, just got bigger things here to do. But it was a great opportunity, and then I also did that for several other tournaments, Wells Fargo in Charlotte, and then the PGA Championship as well. I just found that as I'm a very hands-on learner, obviously book smarts. I look at it as street smarts, so you need a healthy balance. And I took that early on in my career, realizing that, hey, put me out with the wolves and let me get it as much as possible.
Getting thrown in the fire is usually the way to go.
Exactly.
Right?
So that would be like you obviously had your job at your club, but then you had an opportunity to just go work at those tournaments.
Yeah, so for Augusta, for instance, you pretty much go down about a week before the tournament, before the staff comes in as well, and they put the management team kind of through a boot camp. Here's the standards. This is what we're looking for out of you. Here's the orientation. Then 2 days after that, they really bring in the staff, and it's a full training matrix. I mean, it was the best experience I've been through. And a lot of that I've been able to take from certain training procedures to, the hostesses at the, you're not supposed to give away the Augusta secrets, but here's one. I mean, it's just the fine details. those like chalk things that a construction person uses, and it's like a long string, and you flick it and it leaves the mark.
Yeah.
So they have something like that where the hostess every day touches the right corner of chair 4 at every table to make sure that it's online. Like that's nothing to the common person. That's like, but it's attention to detail.
Right.
It's all of those little things that when a member walks in, a patron walks in, everything's going to be flawless.
Wow, perfect.
And so the goal is, let's bring that here.
And,
you heard it, members.
Exactly. So
Augusta service right here in Scottsdale.
But it's all about, their training regimens. And so it's something where our team has really taken on the understanding of, hey, we want you to come in an hour or 2 hours earlier, and we want to teach you these things so that the member-facing employee has the tools that they need for a successful service. So
that's awesome.
That's great. Yeah. The members gotta love hearing this.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. That was cool. Yeah.
And I'll say, look, that's my teammate Chef B has the same type of experiences. We look at it as we want to go out and learn as opposed to sit and learn. You'll see me at Fall Bash jumping in, and because that's the type of leadership I look at. I've had the person saying, "What are you doing clearing a table?" And the day I stop clearing a table is the day I need to be done in this job.
Sure.
Yes, that's not my role, but at the same time, when I have 40 people jumping in and doing it, I better be right there with them.
All hands on deck at all times.
Exactly.
Love that.
And I don't mind taking tables, but it's fun.
Well, you said a key word right there.
Yes.
In that last sentence, you said Fall Bash.
Yes.
So this podcast will be released on Thursday. The Fall Bash is Friday, so this couldn't be better timing.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about it. I mean, I think they've had a chance to look at the programming, the guide, and kind of get a little bit of a preview.
Of course.
But can you kind of just take us through what that'll look like? I know it's an Oktoberfest.
Yes,
theme.
Oktoberfest themed. We actually switched it up this year with location. So, big picture here. The biggest challenge the club ops team has, the catering team, the events team that we have, and we always try to adjust, is the location. Where can I put 500 members, 600 members in an area to have a great time together, and not have it be in 7 different rooms type of thing.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of that at the CG driving range, practice facility, great venue for it. But we're really holding that and reserving it for Spring Bash and for kind of those bigger springtime events. So this time, in speaking with the team, we're taking over the CG parking lot. So the first parking lot right past the Porte Cochere, we've turned that entire area into a beer garden.
Whoa.
So everything from bistro lighting to, you're going to see grass. You're going to see a lot of features that we have a beer truck that has 5 different kind of kegs coming off of it.
Never been done before.
Yeah, so safe to say it's never been done before. We look at the venue as kind of a good meet in the middle for, there will be inside availability, but we look at this as it's an outside fall bash, fun, excitement. We took over the parking lot, have a great kind of egress plan for our members from a transportation standpoint. Obviously, for me, that's one of our biggest things is we want you to come to the party excited with ease and leave with ease. That's always behind the scenes something we're thinking about. But the event itself, plenty of kind of German-themed food. Obviously, pretzels. Oktoberfest. Oh, yeah, plenty of pretzels.
Beer.
Throughout the entire night. Yes,
cheese. I got to cross things off my personal list.
It's you definitely should not go hungry here. We've also, gone a little bit outside of the theme and just making sure that it meets our expectation and our standards. So there will be the seafood towers, the large ice sculptures with your shrimp, your crab claws, everything that you can imagine. The staples of our, DM events, but not so much. That's you don't see that in Germany. So there'll be a little bit of, hey, we make sure you have the proper food to have a great meal. And then what we've done recently is with our bar offerings, we've really elevated what we want to look and provide our members. You're not going to see the house wines out there. You're going to see that mid to higher tier, not only alcohol, but your wine and beer as well. So something we look at sustaining and continuing for all of our club events.
Cool.
So
we had we didn't have a fall bash last year, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
And so I know if all the members that were there, Patrick and I were there, and you were there, Gregg, for Spring Bash.
Yes.
And what a kind of just extra party it was, because everybody just, not that the issue at hand is completely over and in the rearview mirror by any means, but we've gotten on the other side of it, and it was just such a party. It was such a great atmosphere. A little bit, and I think so. We really had to wait 24 months for a fall bash, so I think it'll maybe be a similar atmosphere.
Yeah, we're really. I know the team. We met this morning. We've been meeting for the last couple of weeks about it. It's great to see the energy come from every different department about their excitement for this. So the team's excited. I know we've heard from our members; they're excited. I think it's a great kickoff to kind of the winter season, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. I mean, it will. You might even see me in the suspenders and German hat.
Well, that was my question. Oh man!
Probably not, but who knows? The team might convince me to do so. So
you gonna be doing some dancing?
Well, we have the what is it, the polka band? Yeah. So we have that, and then obviously we have the true hey, let's dance and party the night away band. So kind of two things of entertainment taking place. And we saw success with that also at some of our spring events last year. Going back to Spring Bash, the second dance floor was a huge win for us. So those are some things that we've taken notes in our events, both positive and negatives, and we always look to enhance. And for the members out there listening, please never hesitate to let us know those ideas. I mean, you would be surprised. Some of the best ideas we get are from maybe a new staff member or a new member that says, hey, I've seen this before. And then we'll put our DM way on it, and we'll make it a nice staple.
And the members are in the event. They experience every single event. Of course, you're going to have ideas on how to improve it.
It's our best resource. And what I tell the membership whenever I talk to someone, either about positive or negatives, it's if they didn't reach out to me or I didn't reach out to them, I would have never learned this information. I would have never heard this great suggestion or this unfortunate experience. And that's where I love talking to you guys today, because I need that message to get out. We want to hear this type of feedback.
We're glad you're here, and I think that's what we'll continue to be able to do with the podcast, is just kind of get to, you can't really express yourself the same way in a letter or in an email.
That's what I was going to say. Like, he's around the mountain all day.
Right.
And I'm sure you have your fair share of interaction with the members, but still to be able to talk at this level. Yeah,
the challenge for me, truthfully, is not getting to every member. I go into a dining room, and do I touch 25 tables? Yes, I definitely should. Is that happening every single time? No. And that's where it's a challenge for me, because if I stop at 3 tables but I miss the 4th and 5th, it's not that I meant to shun them or avoid them. It's just that challenge of, hey, I'm headed to the next outlet, and then the next outlet.
You have more important things to do.
No, let's make that clear. That's not the case. Yeah, the most important thing is serving our members here. So, and I love doing it. So
cool,
awesome.
Just before we get off the topic of just kind of events and things of that nature, because I want to get into wine here in a second, which I think is very popular.
Sorry, I didn't bring a bottle.
And I know that's a popular topic.
We were supposed to do a wine tasting.
Yeah, what the heck, Gregg? But just like, I guess the bash would be something that there's a reservation system for.
Absolutely.
And I know that there's been recent changes to it. Mm-hmm. Would you mind just kind of taking people through what those changes are and why that was done and what the advantages are of them?
Yeah, so really 2 different types of reservations here on the mountain. There's event registration, which we really haven't made too many modifications to, and then there's dine-in reservations within our dine-in outlets. And that's where, thank you for giving me the floor on that. Would love to kind of explain some positive changes that we've done to help with capacity. So first, starting with events, really the only adjustment we've had is you might be receiving more of a reminder or more of an advanced reminder, because unfortunately what we experienced, really I'm going to say pre-COVID, it's always been an issue here on the mountain, is registration comes out, an event comes out, you're really excited about it, as any of us would do. We sign up, we forget we signed up, and then we get that notification 72 hours out of, hey, this is your cancellation policy, and we see a huge drop that day. Yeah. And it's a very big challenge for the team to find members to fulfill that spot within 72 hours.
Yeah,
my life's planned out at least a week in advance, if not a month.
Well, even and I was going to say our membership, they're very active members. They travel a lot and things come up and they're moving around. So you can understand why that would happen. But so
from a little too much time ahead of the
we need them to sign up ahead of time. So for instance, for Fall Bash, a 400 to 500 to 600, that's a big swing that we need to prepare for. So registration will always be sent out in advance. It's that reminder email that you might see a second one, or maybe it's coming out 5 days as opposed to 3 days. So more just a reminder within events, but would love to transition and talk about dine-in because that's where we've made some great improvements. The first one would be our reservation system itself. I would say probably end of the second quarter this year. The team found a challenge within our software where there was like a hidden code from our developer that wasn't allowing for X amount of tables to be booked within 15 minutes. It was kind of a pre-coded thing where, say it was 3 tables, and it's hard to say 3 because there's so many different outlets that are so different in size. You guys
didn't buy the premium package.
Yeah, exactly. we now have the premium package, if that's what we want to. And so just that little relief right there, say it was, for example, 3 tables at Constantino's from 6 to 6:15 could only be booked. That's now 6 to 7 tables. So we really, what I would say, ripped the Band-Aid off to make sure that every 15 minutes we are maximizing those table turns in that time frame.
Cool.
We played around and flirted with what does 90 minutes look like from a dining experience. Our goal is to never, what they would say in a public house, turn and burn. Hey, let's get as many. We want the member experience to always be there in the dining rooms, and that memorable, hey, I had a great dinner and I didn't feel like I was getting pushed out.
Right.
So we've stuck to the 120-minute table turns, and that's something really important. I mean, yes, can I eat within an hour and a half? I can, but I want to be able to enjoy my cocktail or relax and take in the sights and the environment. So that stayed the same. I would say the biggest change that we've had is the 30-day reservation window. And the reason that came into play is really because what we were finding is we would have members today is Wednesday the 20th. They would book every Wednesday, say for Apache Prime and Wine. I would book from now through next October, every Wednesday night, Prime and Wine. What we were finding is
that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I get it.
For Constantino's personally, but
and there certainly are members that join us every Wednesday, and I have to think, and this is where I'm glad I'm talking. I have to think of the entire membership when it comes to these type of decisions. So that's where the challenge is, and I apologize for the people that had that stand-in reservation Friday night, 7 p.m. at Constantino's. Since I've been a member, I get that was out there.
Yeah.
But in the totality of the membership, I have to look at what is the fairest way.
Right.
And the fairest way at the time and still is a 30-day window. So, for example, the Friday after Thanksgiving has historically always been booked. I remember when I first took the first month of my job, I looked at dine-in reservations because that was something that I heard, hey, we really need to take a look at this. And I remember just scanning through the months and seeing, like, it was already sold out for November, Friday after Thanksgiving. And I'm like, this is odd to me. And so I go back to the historicals and I'm like, what did we do last Thanksgiving? And to see the amount of cancellations or no-shows that took place, it's a fairness thing that I have to weigh and balance. So
makes sense.
The 30-day window has really helped in that aspect of we're not seeing I booked it
drop off
9 months ago and I forgot about it, or I booked 7 o'clock on the patio at Constantino's every Friday night and I just happened to be at my computer and I did it for the entire season.
Right.
The success rate on that was it wasn't being fulfilled. It was a lot of cancellations or a lot of no-shows. So this 30 days protects it. Yeah. Then we took a couple other steps. So we now do confirmation calls. So really, whenever we're 70 plus more in covers, you're going to get a call from the hostess or the manager at an outlet just to confirm, maybe hear of any special celebrations, dietary restrictions or anything that you want to share with us, it gives you that opportunity, but it also gives us the opportunity to remind you of that reservation and to really confirm that you booked on the outside patio or you're booked by this location. It gives us that double check before we go into dinner service.
And it's just great. That's just great service.
Yeah, I mean, we want to know your guest names.
I would get if I was a member. Oh, Mr. McKenzie, we got you coming XYZ 3.
Yeah.
So they didn't call. I had my reservation for Applebee's last night. They didn't call me, and now I'm upset.
You know what I'm actually seeing now, and
the United Applebee's.
Yeah, right. The industry right now, I've seen it at 3 Valley restaurants in recent weeks. They're taking the give me your credit card when you book, for it being a 6 or more, and that's a scare. I mean, it's more of a scare tactic that we don't look to do. For us, we want to protect the member experience, and that's all we're trying to do here within these dining capacities or the 30 days.
Sure.
The cancellation window. One thing that we always have to look at is what do we do for when someone does not show up? And there's always been this thing around the mountain, this cancellation fee or the no-show fee of $25. That's something that's real, and that's something that we never want to ever charge our members for a no-show. But we also want to ask our members for their help to say, let us know when you're
right.
Things always come up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just give us that call.
Yeah.
And the only reason we're looking for that call is so that we can fill that seat with another member looking to dine.
Right.
And that's where we do charge it, because I want to be able to explain to that member why that charge is in place.
Right.
And this gives me a great platform to do so.
Yeah.
But it's really just being a friendly neighbor to your neighbors. If you're not going to show up, just give us that. Things happen. We totally understand.
Yeah.
Give us the opportunity to do that.
I think everybody can understand. I mean, I'm sure there have been times where maybe a member wanted to get into an event at the last minute or book a reservation at the last minute and they weren't available.
Totally.
And so if this can help more availability,
Right.
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody can enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's important to know for our members, and I tell every department, club ops, food and beverage, concierge service, we're doing everything we can to find and accommodate our members. We ask for a little timing, give us that advance notice. If you're calling us on Thursday for this upcoming Friday, that's going to be a challenge, and I would say respectfully that's a challenge even not in the club. I mean, I can't, so that's where it's.
But if somebody had booked something that they couldn't make,
there we go, and
then,
that's where the confirmation comes into play, and
Right.
that's when we can call the wait list immediately
Right.
following those confirmation calls. So we totally understand it.
So this is the time of year where maybe it's all year round. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like is it just me? Is that kind of the time of year where everybody's buying more wine around this time of year?
I would say it's fall harvest. I mean, October is Napa. They're harvesting right now. They actually harvested earlier this year just because heat and labor shortages and things. But that's bigger industry news.
Mike and I have been to enough events to know that Desert Mountain members love their wine.
Yes, right. And I think this year we've taken that and ran with it. We recognize, through COVID, and it's not just our members. I think it's the world. The education and the desire to learn more and is there,
It's a passion
now. And so we look at that within wine. Our members they're wine lovers. They're enthusiasts. They know their stuff, and that's amazing. And I love memberships that have that. But I also love members that don't know enough and can come to one of these, what we now have, these wine educations. We have the winemaker from Silver Oak come in January to just do a wine education, just to talk about wine. Wow. And I think that's something where we're partnering with our distributors, our vendors to really say, hey, can you bring something to the table that's going to impact our members? Yeah. And then also, not only am I going to do a great education for our membership, but hey, let's have that guy come 3 hours earlier and do a great staff education.
Cool.
And so awesome. We're really utilizing who we've always had, right. And they're excited about it because, of course, they get their foot in the door. Yeah. So I would say this winter season's wine program is probably the largest it's ever been.
Wow. Fantastic.
We can, we have a wine dinner every single month, which was a standard. But what you'll see is kind of these wine programs, these cocktail classes or spirits. We're doing our first beer dinner. That's something new. Huss Beer's coming in.
Cool.
We're doing a really interesting war and whiskey stories. I think it's actually whiskey and war stories. But just we're willing and able. We want to take as much as we can and provide it to our members. Yeah. So, of course, our wine programs and our wine dinners are sold out currently. But know that we're adding more to the program and we're adding more to the calendar. We've already found 2 additional nights, one being a Silver Oak night. So we're going to promote that out and really make sure that our wait list for the first night would be, contacted first. But we understand and we recognize the desire and the love that the wine program has here. So for events, that's some exciting stuff. December 10th, I got to drop it. I got to market it. But we have our holiday wine sale. What we saw last spring with the wine sale is it was probably 4 to 5 times larger from member participation than we've ever experienced. Wow. Good problem to have. Yeah. So this year we're taking over the entire CG clubhouse as opposed to just the Sunset Terrace. We recognize that our vendors need more space and we're selling more and I think
just block off the whole parking
Exactly. Lot. Yeah. Well, it'll be in December.
Wine garden.
Yeah.
Wine garden.
Yeah. So December 10th we'll have that. It's Robin Peacock down at our wine store does an amazing job getting the vendors here to kind of provide that. And we have some fun holiday things like either it be stitching in the bottle, Happy New Year's or something. We always have some type of. You can get Riedel glassware or that last minute Christmas shopping or holiday shopping. This is the go-to, and we've always found success with that. But that transitions into the wine store. So in August, we adjusted wine store pricing. The biggest thing that I view and that I always appreciate and protect is the member value, the member experience. And what I found within the wine store is we were more of a convenience rather than a value. And I want both. I want our members to be able to have both. Why leave the mountain to drive down to Total Wine or to AJ's when you have a wine store right here? Right. And most likely now I can almost guarantee our pricing is, if not equivalent, better than what they're offering.
Wow. Did you hear that, members? In 2021, a price went down on something that nobody else can say that. So that's
on the mountain.
Yes. Right. And you know what, guys? That's another great point. That's across food and beverage this year. Obviously we understand inflation and, shortages, but we're not putting that on the backs of our members. We're absorbing that, and you'll see that with the new fall menus. Very little price adjustments. I mean, it was a big sensitivity to both myself, Chef Bertrand, and Mr. DiOrio. And so we didn't want to put that, our members are supporting us enough. We don't want to, diminish any of that value that they have here.
And I know that's just got to be a lot of hard work that goes on in the background to try to make that happen.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but you were getting. So here's a great example: short rib. Okay, short ribs. It was $8 a pound. Yeah, right. It was $8 a pound a month ago. It's now $16 a pound.
Man.
So that. Today or this week's shortage, we always kind of in the background, Andy Nelson, our purchasing director, does an amazing job, but I always get kind of a Monday debriefing from him. Hey, what is Cisco? What is US Foods? What are they telling us we're short on? 3 weeks ago it was blueberries. Last week or this week it's trash bags. So we're always kind of adjusting on the fly here. But it was weird. Blueberries, and I think Diet Coke is really soda and beverages. We're seeing the biggest kind of adjustments.
Interesting.
Because like Gatorade, for instance, they said, hey, this is our 3 lowest sellers. We're not going to make them anymore. We're going to focus on purple, blue, you name the orange. Yeah. And so it's a challenge for us because we have members that have been drinking the lime for 3 years, and they say, hey, you got it all, you took it away. Really, it's more of it's been eliminated. Diet caffeine-free sodas is where we're seeing the biggest challenge from Cisco, And rest assured to our members, if it doesn't come on the truck at Cisco, our next stop is our purchasing team is going out to Costco, is going out to the local grocery store.
I blame Mike.
Yeah.
Mike loves his diet.
I do like my Diet Coke.
So Diet Coke is definitely no. It's more the diet caffeine free is what we're seeing, and so that it's just those little things that again, circling back, we don't want to put it on. We don't want to upcharge everything just because we're seeing these charges, but it's a real thing in this world right now, and our goal is to give more favorable pricing than what's actually out there in the world right now.
That's awesome.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
So that's been the constant theme, unfortunately, through all the podcasts that we've done so far, is these supply chain issues that have happened, and so it's nice to know that you guys are doing everything you can to offset.
I mean, still talking wine. I mean, the 2019 vintage it's going to be extremely short. 2019, 2020, because the winemakers. I mean, Napa Valley not only had fires, they had harvest issues. Because think of last year's harvest; they couldn't have anyone during COVID. There was no one picking, or there was half of the amount of people picking. So, big challenge for the wine industry over the next couple of years. We have the benefit, especially with our purchase and receiving building coming, where our members love Rumbauer. For me, I don't want to put Rumbauer on the list at the price point that you see out in the valley. I want to put Rumbauer on the list that you come back and say, wow, this is the best price in the valley. I can't find somewhere else. And I use Rumbauer because it's just a staple. We serve far better offerings than that, but I know it's something that everyone knows. It's great wine, don't get me wrong. But that's like when we talk, that's kind of the staple one that people think about and they look at a price point wise. Right. So just this Monday, which would have been 2 days ago, we rolled out a whole new pricing structure within our wine program inside the restaurants. So the wine store is separate from the restaurants, 2 different licenses. Okay, but jumping into, let's call it Apache and John O'Farrell and his amazing talents. We call him John the Psalm. It works perfect. But so he helped me immensely with this overhaul. But I'm pretty confident in saying that I think we have and cheap is the wrong word, but I think we have the best valued wine list here in the valley. Wow. And I would welcome any member that says, hey, I found the Dow Special Reserve Cab by the glass for X amount of dollars, you're selling it for X. So I love that challenge for our members to tell me that pricing.
A little price match guarantee.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. So, and again, it helps us because of our size. Vendors, our wine distributors want to come in here and be able to say, hey, I have wines by the glass in 7 locations. Yeah. So I think we've never, and I don't want to say challenged, but I don't think we've ever really shared with all of our distributors, hey, you're getting not just a piece of Apache, you're getting the entire mountain. Yeah. And they have finally started to see that and realize the value of, hey, if I get in, I'm everywhere. And so they've come down immensely with their pricing, which is great. You got to have that give and take with them in a respectful and polite manner, and they've been happy and we've been happy. So the partnerships have really increased. But bottle pricing is where our members will see that value.
Okay, cool.
I want a member to be able to, I hate using Silver Oak as an example, but it is a staple that everyone knows. But say you were going to buy a bottle of that for $120 in the restaurant, actually probably $150. You might now see it at $120 in our restaurant. It is a drastic change. Wow. And why did we want to do that? Because I want our membership to be able to enjoy a great bottle of wine. I want you to see what might have been your mid-tier, $50 wine and say, okay, I'm going to select that. That's a Tuesday night wine. You don't want to spend the $150. But now that $50 price point is really what used to be a $75, $80 bottle. Mm-hmm. And then imagine what used to be $120. So it's, I'm very excited for it, being a wine lover myself. I would buy a bottle of wine every time I went into a restaurant with the pricing we have. The positive here, we can cork it and you can take it home. So if you don't see the wine that you like on the BTG, the By the Glass list, now buy that great bottle. Right. Have 2 to 3 glasses and then take it home with you and know that you're probably paying a better price than at the bottle than if it was by the glass.
That's awesome.
Or still feel relaxed and comfortable enough to hang out And drink the whole bottle.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. We'd love to have that as well. So
90 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, 120. 120. Yes. Yeah.
No, it's just cool to know that that the distributors, the vendors are acknowledging that, you know, because of the volume that we're able to have here on the mountain, that, you know, that's a win-win for everybody. They get the volume, we get the lower prices, we extend the lower prices to the membership. Perfect.
Yeah. And when you can explain it to them that way, you know, they understand and they appreciate it too.
Yeah.
So we've become a lot more universal and consistent with our wine list.
Yeah.
For that reason. Cool. You know, I don't want you to go to 7, have a great white wine that's, you know, $12, and then you go up to Constantino's, that list or that wine isn't there, or that wine's there and it's listed at $16.
Yeah.
Sadly, there was some of that I inherited,
Yeah.
and that's not right. I mean, our members need to know that price points are the same no matter where you go for the same exact offering.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want this to go too long. I feel like we kept you. I
No,
know you're like
It's good conversation.
you're like the busiest guy on the mountain, and we're
Yeah.
keeping you in here a long time. So, but I do want to get into one more thing before we
Absolutely.
wrap up. Another place where maybe members will be able to enjoy more wine and a lot more
Yes,
at some
sure.
point, which is this Renegade Project that is obviously everybody knows about. Damon touched on it quite a bit last week.
Touched on it.
There will be a vote coming up.
Not sure if you heard about that. Or
Yeah, just a little bit.
But just to kind of, I think you would have a unique perspective on it because you're going to have your hands on it so much.
Yeah.
What can members expect out of the new Renegade Clubhouse? How awesome is that going to be? And yeah, could you just kind of talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So thank you for that. Definitely need our members' vote. You know, it's something where we want to get the ball moving as fast as possible. We know our members want to, and obviously the team wants to. We're excited about it. Hit a little delay, obviously, with where the world is right now. But overall, from a Renegade experience, I'm just excited at being able to offer that type of menu. And the menu, you know, it's that all-American comfort food. We want you to be able to enjoy a great meal on a Monday, but also a Thursday or Saturday and feel like you have all the options to choose from. The pizza is needed, and we're excited about it. You know, going to have the pizza oven going and roaring all day long. Yeah, breakfast, lunch, and dinner location.
Cool.
You know, there's maybe too much to say about it.
Yeah.
We most certainly need it. It's going to be an excitement not only for the staff but for the members. The food offerings are going to be everything kind of. It's going to, I hate to say a catch-all because it's not the right thing, but it's going to have that all-American fare.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking it, most likely it's going to be there.
And the breakfast that they had because
fried bologna sandwich.
Oh man, I don't know. I couldn't tell you last time I had bologna or
You're gonna go home
or even seen bologna.
fried bologna
Yeah,
sandwich.
yeah.
I need to add it to the menu.
I have had.
Hey, maybe not fried bologna, but everything else. And what I was going to say is I know the membership, you know, love the breakfast at Hideout.
yeah.
For sure.
So there'll be a breakfast, you know, at Renegade. That's a really cool thing that's going to be there.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that actually. So know that the Renegade breakfast, the old Renegade Hideout breakfast, is being served currently at the Chiricahua Grill.
Right.
Okay, so that launched about a month ago. We're having good success. You know, I look at it as absolutely, yes, it's high up on the mountain,
Yeah.
but you know, you also have Cafe Verde for maybe the, you know,
Yeah.
if you look at the mountain south and north, what an amazing view that you can have breakfast on. I mean, I would say the best view in Scottsdale.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
If you want to travel up there. And so I understand that, hey, that's far. So you have obviously Chiricahua Grill with the Renegade Hideout old breakfast menu, the Range House for your golfers, quick bites, and then your Cafe Verde right now.
Yeah.
Sundays, Outlaw, Bottomless Brunch has been a home run, not only for the team loves. I mean, it's hard to get a staff member not to work it just because they have so much fun with it. And then our members are enjoying it as well. Yeah. So, you know, breakfast is definitely a staple here. I'm a big breakfast person, so I'm very excited about Renegade kind of being being there.
This is what I'm saying. I would have so many phone calls about reminding me about my reservation. It's endless.
Yeah. The other cool things about Renegade that I would also be excited about is just like kind of the indoor-outdoor feel of it, something that people seem to love about 7, and now we get to take that over to Renegade, and there's just a lot of reasons why I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm ready for the shovel, and you know, I'll get out there as much as possible.
I love it.
But yeah, it's can't come soon enough.
Are you gonna have the suit on with the shovel, or are you good that day?
Helmet and the suit. And
you know, my last club, we joked the 20 things you can do in a suit. We should have published it. I mean, it's everything from changing light bulbs to you name it, but you can do a lot.
Yeah. Podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Podcast. Yeah, there you go. You name it.
All right. Well, thank you for touching on that, and
just real quick.
Yeah.
The genuine excitement from Todd to Damon to Gregg about what's happening at Renegade and what it's going to become is really cool to see.
Yeah.
And I hope that comes through the podcast to the members.
Yeah, it's definitely for me.
I think the members are excited about it in general. I mean,
for sure.
It's just,
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. I think the biggest thing is the entire senior team, the entire staff. We're excited about everything here on the mountain. I mean, I wake up and, you know, I'm ready to get to work because I just love everything I'm doing. And I think that starts from the top with Mr. DiOrio, but, you know, everyone, it really resonates off of them. We're on the happiness business. You know, if we personally aren't happy, how can we ever deliver happiness or a memorable, you know, experience to our membership or our guests? I mean, even our staff at that matter. I think that's something we do well in, no matter how busy we are, no matter the stresses that hit us. We always take that step back to say, hey, why are we here? What's the main goal? And that's to provide outstanding service in a happy place. You know, what more could you ask for out of a job?
And we've echoed the same sentiment the last 2 podcasts, to the point where I almost didn't want to say it anymore. I don't want to beat a dead horse over how excited we are too. But
I can't not comment on it.
Yeah, like at the risk of sounding like I'm not being genuine, I'm being 100% genuine. I think everybody feels like you do, Gregg. That everybody that is working here and you know, here on a regular basis, they're excited to come here. They're excited to be here. And,
you know, last thing on that, because I know I talk too much, but the my 90-day reviews with my new leaders or throughout the last couple of months, you know, I'll circle back with them. Hey, you know, how does it feel? And they're like, you know, I thought you were just BSing me in the interview. Like, you talk about quality of life, happiness. I'm living it and I'm enjoying it. So cool. that means the world to me, and hopefully our members feel that way as well. I did just want to kind of close it out here and mention, you know, how can a member get a hold of me? Why would they get a hold of me? What can I help them with? And I want it to be known, I'm here to help with anything. You know, my job is to deliver a great member experience. And so if you don't see me in the dining rooms, if you don't see me out on the parkway, please call me. You know, please email me. I'm there for anything our members need, and I know my staff and the team thinks that way as well. But if it's food and beverage related, please come to me. If it's member experience related, guest treatment, anything, or really anything. At the end of the day, if I don't have the answer, I'm going to make sure to point you in the right direction. And I think that's the entire team. And that's from clubhouse manager to staff member. We're here to help our members, and we're going to direct you in the right way.
I think you've touched on it a few times throughout the podcast, how beneficial it is when you have that conversation with a member about how they can, how we can make an event better, or you know,
I get
better, whatever it might be.
so much of a takeaway when I talk to a member, because they might say 5 sentences, and I pick something up in each of those sentences that they don't even realize that they mentioned. And so can't tell you how important it is to be able to have that open dialogue with our members. The good, the bad, the ugly, I want to know about it. It's all important. And unfortunately, the ugly and the bad is what I want to take action with immediately.
Right, you heard it here first.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Hopefully there's not much. Yeah, so,
let them have it.
Yeah. You know. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Gregg.
Absolutely.
If you want to hang out for another couple minutes, we have a couple other you know, aspects to this podcast.
Yeah, I love hearing the podcast.
I want to give you some credit, Mike.
Sure.
You talked about the view from Cheery. Maybe the best, around. I don't know if you saw the most recent post on the Desert Mountain
I did.
Facebook and Instagram. This
Great.
gentleman sitting next to you took that photo. I mean, it was.
It's not hard to do. I think that's more of a point and shoot thing because, like Greg mentioned, that view is unbelievable. Yeah. And on a night when we happen to get a beautiful sunset up there,
you got
that's incredible.
You have an eye for it. That's a great photo.
You stop it. You just stop.
Guys need me to leave?
But yeah, we do want to say. Just that reminds me, when we were up there, we got a chance to talk to a couple groups of members, and we got some feedback on the podcast.
Yes,
so
thank you.
They had been listening to it. Thank you to everyone who's been listening to it. We really appreciate you. We want this thing to grow.
I heard you guys were like almost trending #1 on Spotify.
We were
a few big names.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were on the news this morning, but I wasn't going to bring that up. It wasn't
for the podcast. So we'll talk about it.
But yes, thank you.
Well,
seriously,
just like Greg was saying, any feedback we can get is beneficial to us. So.
And I'll also say, if you are listening, we'd love to have you answer these trivia questions because I will tell you, we did have multiple guesses this week, but the Pappas family,
only one winner.
The Pappas family is really coming through. So
the undefeated duo.
Last week we had Pat Pappas with the win on our trivia question then. And the trivia question, if you remember from last week, was how many countries, is that what it was? How many different countries are represented here on the mountain by the membership? Right. And even though we did have more submissions this week, Bud Pappas this week, now his guess was, we're not doing Price is Right rules here. I'll just tell you what it was. he went ahead. He guessed 15, and he was the closest guess.
Yes.
As to our knowledge, we've got 11, which is still awesome. And the membership, just to give you an idea, like the Philippines, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Germany,
all over the map, literally.
Yes. Yeah. So, to our best knowledge, it's 11. So we're going to give the nod to Bud Pappas. So congratulations on that.
You think that Bob Barker would accept that?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
No.
But
he actually called earlier today.
we got into it. It was a little awkward, but whatever.
This made me think of Happy Gilmore when he.
I just thought of the same thing.
He punched me in the face.
The bottom line is the Pappas family is going to be walking around the mountain with some brand new merch. Right?
When you see him walk in with a new shirt or a new hat, you'll know. We did have a couple of great shots this week, so I just wanted to recognize those.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen Millen, that was on the 18th of October. Apache Hole 7. Aced it. 145-yard hole-in-one. Congratulations, Mr. Millen. And then we had William Chardevoin on the following day at Chiricahua Hole 8, 115-yard par 3. So congratulations, Mr. Chardevoin.
I don't know if I'm reporting a hole-in-one because I don't want to pick up the bar.
I saw there was a video online the other day of a guy hitting a hole-in-one, and the group ahead of them saw it and started running down. And my first thought was, they see those drinks in their eyes.
We have the hole-in-one program here, so
they don't actually care.
Fun for everyone.
So with Greg here, we'll wrap it up with this, a trivia question for next week. We thought it would be cool to incorporate. We talked a lot about the wine program.
Wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
Cue the music. Okay,
good. We talked a lot about the wine program this year, and we talked about how Desert Mountain members love their wine and are connoisseurs, and so along those lines, the trivia question for next week will be, in the current year, 2021, how many wines by the glass have been sold all over the mountain? Single glass pours, how many glasses of wine?
And that's red and white.
Red and white.
All wines.
Yeah. You want to guess that one? I don't even. That's going to be a big number, I think.
I know. That's way out of my jurisdiction here.
Whatever you're thinking, maybe times 10.
I'm going to say
1 billion.
Not so much Dr. Evil.
I'm going to guess 17,146.
Whoa.
I just blacked out for a minute. Sorry about that.
I see all the equations going around.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment because I don't want to say if that's close or I'm just gonna, I'll hold tight.
Maybe I'm high. That might be high. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
We'll do a cheers.
Thank you again. We've got 3 months today.
All
right.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one.